Hello everyone, this is going to be my first video talking about movies in general, specifically about the Oscar nominees this year. So I'm going to share with you the persons and movies that I think should be nominated this year, but I'm not going to explain very deeply why I chose each one of them. I'm going to leave Best Picture for the end of the movie. So what I'm going to do is highlight in green the person I think should win, or the movie. So let's start with directing. So for this list I chose Denis Villeneuve, Jane Campion, Kenneth Branagh, Paul Thomas Anderson and Steven Spielberg. I think this will be the final list. I don't see any way around it, and in my opinion Jane Campion has everything to win the Oscar. Right now it's probably between The Power of the Dog and Belfast in this category. But even though I liked Belfast, I like The Power of the Dog even more, so I hope Jane Campion wins this Oscar. So moving on for actress in a leading role, it's pretty obvious to me that Adriana DeBose is going to win. Then we have Anjanou Ellis, I hope I'm saying the names right. Then we have Katrina Balfe for Belfast, Kirsten Dunst and Ruth Negga. This is my list. I gotta say that Katrina Balfe was my number one pick until I saw West Side Story. For me, this category is going to be pretty much locked with Adriana DeBose. Honestly, I don't think any other actress winning the Oscar in this category. So I'm going to move on to actor in a supporting role. And here I'm going to go wild, because the first person I'm picking is not being predicted by anyone, but I'm going to say Ben Affleck for The Tender Bar, Keira Knightley, I don't know if that's how his name is pronounced, but I think so, Jared Leto for The House of Gucci, Cody Smith-McPhee, The Power of the Dog, and Troy Kotsur for Coda. The reason I'm picking Ben Affleck is because we already have a nomination for Belfast, which is Keira Knightley. I'm pretty sure he's going to be nominated, and I don't think the Academy is going to nominate two persons for the same movie, which in this case would be Keira Knightley and Jamie Dornan. So that's why I picked Ben Affleck, even though the Academy did indeed nominate two people for the same movie in the same category, but I don't think it's going to happen this time. What I really don't get about this category is why Cody Smith-McPhee won the Golden Globe, which would make him the favorite at this point, I think. I really don't think his performance was that great to win the Golden Globe, honestly. If I compare it to Leonardo DiCaprio, for example, in Django Unchained or in Gilbert Grape, I think he was far better in those movies and he never got recognition for them. And I understand that they have to pick an actor, but in my opinion Keira Knightley was even better, so that's why I'm picking at this point Keira Knightley. Moving on to actress on the leading role, I picked Jessica Chastain, Kristen Stewart, Lady Gaga, Nicole Kidman and Olivia Colman. And I picked Kristen Stewart to win. I hope she wins. I think she was the best actress in this year. And I also know everyone is hating on her because her previous performances on Twilight series, but she was really great this year, so I think she deserves it. The other person is Nicole Kidman, who also won the Golden Globe. I also don't understand why. And the other thing that might play well for Nicole Kidman is the fact that Kristen Stewart was snubbed from the SAG Awards. So again, I think Nicole Kidman at this point is the favorite, but I'm gonna go with Kristen Stewart. I think she was the best and I'm sticking with her. Moving on to actor in a leading role, we start with Andrew Garfield. He did a great work this year, including this movie Tick Tick Boom. Then I chose Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog, Denzel Washington for The Tragedy of Macbeth, Will Smith for King Richard. In my opinion, it's a lock. I don't see anyone. Maybe Andrew Garfield upsetting, but I mean everyone loves Will Smith and he's long overdue, in my opinion, to win an Oscar. So I think this is his year. And for the last spot, I think there are 3 actors that might get in, being Leonardo DiCaprio, Peter Dinklage, and Javier Bardem, because of his SAG nomination. That really surprised me. But I think it will be between Leo and Peter Dinklage, and I chose Peter Dinklage. I really hope Leonardo gets in though, but I think it's going to be Peter Dinklage. The thing is, Leo only has like 2 minutes of great acting in Don't Look Up, and Peter Dinklage was awesome in the entire movie. I think this will make the difference and they will pick Peter, but let's wait for it and see who they pick. Next is original screenplay. I chose Being the Ricardos, Belfast, Don't Look Up, even though I didn't like Don't Look Up, King Richard, and Licorice Pizza. I don't think there's much to say in this category. I think Belfast is a lock too here. I don't see any other movie being even close to be as good as Belfast. So that's my pick for original screenplay. Let's do adapted screenplay now. I went with Coda, Dune, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. A lot of people are predicting The Power of the Dog to win here, but I decided to go with West Side Story because in my opinion Steven Spielberg did an amazing work. He adapted the movie from 1957, if I'm not mistaken, and he made everything better, so I think that's great talent, and that's the reason I picked West Side Story for adapted screenplay. Cinematography, this is a category that I really like to watch because, as some of you might know, I'm a photographer, so I really care about this category. I chose Dune, which a lot of people think will win, and it probably will, but that's not my pick. Then I chose Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. This was an amazing year for cinematography, and the favorite, like I said, is probably Dune, but I'm gonna be really pissed if The Tragedy of Macbeth doesn't win this Oscar. In my opinion, it's far better than any other here. So, in my opinion, what might play for Dune here is the fact that last year Mank won Best Cinematography with a black and white movie, and they might not want to award another black and white movie this year for cinematography, so they might pick Dune here. But honestly, I mean, The Tragedy of Macbeth is better in every sense of the word, so that's why I picked it. Let's do film editing now. I chose Belfast, Dune, Licorice Pizza, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. I really don't know who they are gonna pick for me. The best movie was Dune in film editing. I hope this is the final list they nominate. But like I said, each of these movies have great film editing, and in my opinion Dune was the best one, so I chose Dune. Production design now. I don't think anyone is going to agree with me on this one, but my picks are Belfast, Dune, Nightmare Alley, The French Dispatch, and West Side Story. This is always a hard category to predict the nominations, even the winners. Dune is probably the favorite in this list for many of you, but we all know Guillermo del Toro is known for having great sets with magical productions, and Nightmare Alley is no exception, so I decided to choose Nightmare Alley. For me, it was the best. We are moving on to costume design, and for me, the first nomination is Cruella, and it will be the winner. Then we have Dune, House of Gucci, Spencer, and West Side Story. Again, a lot of people are going to predict House of Gucci, but let's be honest, Cruella has the best costume design this year. Just look at these images and tell me, how is it not going to win the Oscar? I mean, come on, it has to win. So I'm going to move on to sound now. I think this will be the finalist too. So I chose Dune, Nightmare Alley, No Time to Die, The Matrix, Resurrections, and West Side Story. I also think Dune is a lock here. A lot of people are predicting West Side Story. I'm not sure why. I think it's because it's a musical, but that doesn't mean... Just because it's a musical, it doesn't mean that it has the best sound design. And the Dune movie has great sound design, especially in those moments where he hears voices. I think it's really well done, so my vote is for Dune in sound. Best original score now, I picked Dune, Encanto, Spencer, The French Dispatch, and The Power of the Dog. Dune winning, I think it's also a lock. It was composed by Hans Zimmer, which should have at least like 10 Oscars right now. We all wanted him to win another one, so yeah, I think this is going to be a lock for Dune. I don't see any other movie upsetting, so that's my decision, Dune, for Best Original Score. Now we have Best Original Sound. We have Be Alive from King Richard, Dos Oroguitas from Encanto, Down to Joy, Belfast, Just Look Up, Don't Look Up, No Time to Die from No Time to Die. I really like Billie Eilish and I always wanted her to win an Oscar, and I think it's going to happen here. No Time to Die is the best song in my opinion. For me, I'm going to say again that it's a lock in this category. So let's move on to visual effects. Here I picked Dune, Godzilla vs. Kong, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Spider-Man No Way Home, and The Matrix Resurrections. This is a fun category because I picked the movie that has the less amount of CGI and visual effects, which is Dune. The other movies have a lot of CGI, and for me that's the problem. I don't like movies with too much CGI and visual effects. And in Dune they are subtle, but they are amazing. So I hope Dune wins this category too. I'm giving Dune a lot of Oscars. I hope I'm not mistaken though. Makeup and hairstyle. I chose Cruella, Cyrano, Dune, House of Gucci, and The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Here I can agree that House of Gucci has the best makeup. The characters are very close to look like the real people that they are portraying. So yeah, I think House of Gucci is going to win this Oscar. I'm not going to say there is a lock because Cruella might upset, but it has a good chance to win. Animated movie, we have Encanto, Flea, Luca, Raya and the Last Dragon, The Mitchells vs. The Machines. Encanto is definitely going to win this Oscar. It has been winning every single award, so yeah, it's a lock too. Moving on to international film, I picked A Hero, Drive My Car, Great Freedom, Prayers for the Stolen, and The Worst Person in the World. Drive My Car is going to win here too. Some people are even predicting this movie to be in the Best Picture nominations. I don't think so, but I think it will win international film because this movie is really good. And lastly but not least, here are my 10 movies for Best Picture. I'm not very sure about the last one. So I chose Belfast, Coda, Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Spider-Man, because everyone is raving about this movie, The Power of the Dog, Tick Tick Boom, West Side Story, and for the last spot I have 3 possible candidates, which are Don't Look Up, Nightmare Alley, and The Tragedy of Macbeth. It will probably be Don't Look Up, even though, like I said, I didn't like the movie. I love Leonardo DiCaprio, but I didn't like this movie that much. So I hope they pick Nightmare Alley or The Tragedy of Macbeth, but it's going to be Don't Look Up, I'm pretty sure. And to win, I choose The Power of the Dog. I think it's the best movie. I think it's going to win major awards. Directing with Jane Campion, possibly supporting actor with Cody Smith-McPhee, even though that's not my pick. Adapted screenplay, I think it's going to win too. So yeah, I think it has big chances to win the Oscar for Best Movie. It also won the Golden Globe for Best Movie. And I think it's between The Power of the Dog and Belfast. I love Belfast too. But yeah, I'm picking The Power of the Dog. Let me know if you agree with this list and what are your nominations. I will be doing another video reacting to the Oscars. I'm sorry for the dogs, they don't stop barking. So yeah, I'm going to make a video reaction when I see the actual nominations to see how far I was from the actual list. I hope I don't miss many nominations. I usually miss like 1 or 2 each category, which is not bad, I think. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this movie, and I'll see you soon.